What if the future has been written right here at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria? This is a documentary on how computer science education took root, grew, and evolved over the time at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Kaduna State. My name is Joseph Ekpeno Okon.
Computer science education started in the Department of Science Education, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, under the leadership of Professor Maman Musa, who happens to be the pioneer head of Department Education in 2010. The first set of students were U11, and the idea behind the establishment of the program is to have experts to teach and impact computer knowledge in the school, so as to meet the digital and technological advancements of the world of today. Professor Maman Musa served as the head of department from 2012 to 2016, and he handed over to Professor S.S. Bichi, who served as the head of Department Science Education from 2016 to 2020. And then Professor J.S. Mari took over from 2020 till date. Computer science education since inception has only had two head of section, namely the late I.H. Usman, who served as head of section Computer Science Education from 2012 to 2020, and then Dr. Y.F. Zaria from 2020 till date. My name is Ibrahim Muhammad Nazir.
When I did all my studies here in this university, in the department. So I grew up as a student and both as a staff. Grew up academically to become a professor. Administratively, going by positions, I was the head of mathematics education unit for almost 12 years. Then I was seconded to go to SPRS, where I was appointed as director as a school. I did 2 tenures, finished it 2010. Then I was elected as the head of department education then. And then we mobilized and discovered that the department is really too large. By then we have 27 degrees as the department of education. So among our senior colleagues, we felt there is need to split the department, and that led to the split. And then when it was split, we have Department of Science Education.
I am Sani Salabici, the head of, I can say immediate past head of Department of Science Education Department, and I have been with the department since 1985 when I assumed appointment as a graduate assistant. And I grew over the years until I became a professor in the year 2016. So I became the head of the Department for Science Education, which of course computer science education is just a segment. The Department of Science Education has 8 sections, 8 units, including computer science education.
So my name is Professor J.S. Mari. I assumed office here in 2023. So head of science education, I came when this program was already in progress.
So my name is Dr. Yusuf Felisara Zakaria, and I'm the current head of section for computer science in the Department of Science Education at Ahmadu Bello University. So I became the head of section not too long ago, because I think around 2021, 2022 thereabout, and then ever since then I have been working as the head of section for computer science.
That critical period is an information technology era. Actually, many universities were agitating for admission to come and read computer science education. But then we don't have, and that injure us to initiate them to have the work because of the community needs.
Right. Computer science and the integrated science programs, the two of them were starting at the same time. computer science education because there was a felt need that the country is becoming more and more technical and scientific, and therefore there was a need for computer science education so that we can be able to produce teachers, manpower, who will now go and man our secondary schools and other institutions of higher learning as far as computer is concerned. So that grew very much that led to so much emphasis and so much interest in computer science education along with integrated science education. The two programs were started at the same time, more or less on the same principle, on the same need. A lot of integrated science programs were also spreading, so we are trying to get teachers so that they can be able to man our secondary school as far as integrated science is concerned, so also computer science. But with a particular reference to computer science education, like I said, the world is becoming more and more technical and scientific, and therefore it is very necessary that we must not be left behind. Science education must also encompass all the programs in science education so that we can be able to go along with the needs of the society. In other words, the current demand of the society. Hence, this particular program was evolved, and it was quite, a very good innovation, because previously we only had 5 programs: maths education, of course. Then we also have biology, chemistry, geography, and integrated science. But there was a felt need that we must also widen our scope in the department. Hence, we were able to get 2 programs to be evolved, and that was the beginning of the computer science program. We had 2 accreditations so far. In other words, it has gone through the first accreditation, which was full, the second one, which was also full. I will give you the date of the accreditation, the period in which people, experts from NUC came, visited us, were able to vet our program, and they eventually passed us with a full accreditation status. So I think for that we can say, yes, that's a good start for the department so far. Right.
Like every department is trying to introduce innovative courses, it's trying to introduce courses that are related to the common problems that the society is faced with. And we know that no country will experience expansion of economy, no country will be able to solve sophisticated scientific problems without people who are literate in computer. And any society that intends to compete globally must have its young ones study computer. And we know the earlier people start, the better. I think, like in this generation, truly speaking, whatever you don't start as a child, you hardly can excel in it. So we felt that, nobody can excel in computer without having very credible computer science teachers. And we felt that, because the world is driven by computer science, and we felt that, we need to include that as part of the programs in the department. And I think it is innovation that is well thought out. And we are training teachers according to the philosophy we had. So when I came in, it was already a very popular course, but except there were a lot of problems. The course or the curriculum was not well outlined, and the students were a little bit confused, or maybe the courses to do. You see, some of the courses that were core courses were not well defined. I can attest that maybe some students graduated without doing some core courses. And when we came in, we checked the curriculum, and we see there were some relevant courses that you can't claim to be a computer science student if you have not offered them. And we say, even if your training is to teach computer science, you should also have the capacity to help people who have problems to do with computer science. And that's why we choose all these courses that we know that will help in solving societal problems.
When I asked some of this, it was a case of chaos. Like there are problems with curriculum in particular, where some students they had issues. There are some courses that are supposed not to be compulsory, they made it compulsory. Some courses that are elective, why some compulsory courses were not designed as compulsory courses. So when this issue came up, that was when the issue was at the peak of it. That was when I assumed the office as the current head of section. So and ever since then, we were able to manage the issues, and things have been going fine since 2021.
Well, so far so good. The most spectacular thing that I can recall is how we were able to get students coming, increasing in size year in year out. And also, I have noted that at one time we have a large number of our students with very good quality certificate. 2-1, 2-1, you see, so many. This is very, very, very good. Just the students are determined and work hard. So the number of students going out with good quality is very important.
The immediate head of section and head of department, Professor Mama Musa, really played a very important role in the evolution of this particular program. He did so much, and I can say he is a pioneer. He is also very, very versatile in the program, along with some other people that now they are late, unfortunately. May Allah bless them, right? Their son, Professor Maruf, and one, they are all late. Maruf and I.H. Haruna, I.H. Usman. You may have met him, I'm sure he must have taught you some courses. Believe me, the two of them, or these silly people, we can say they are very big foundations to turn, for the computer science program we are running.
Yeah, when it was set in place, a committee headed by Professor Mama, it was also studied the feasibility of establishing the computer science department, the programs that were going to be we have to go through. They were, and I think they were able to do it very well, and they started the program, which had been running with little hitches.
Definitely, there are individuals who championed this cause. Some people fought for it, like that of Professor Mama Musa, our former and the first HOD of the Department of Science Education, by the way. So Professor Mama Musa, he was acting, then he became the HOD at the time. So Professor Mama Musa was an important figure because he was in mathematics. He's retired now. He was in mathematics, and the mathematics educators, they were the one that actually fought for the creation of computer science education. So he was an important figure. The second person was the late Professor M.O. Ibrahim Maruf, God forgive his sins. So he also played an important role in the creation and even in the nurturing of the program.
However, computer science education since inception has achieved some milestones. Number 1, accreditation from the AUC. Number 2, curriculum review. And number 3 is collaboration with other institutions like Abubakar and Cisco. And recently, the section achieved another collaboration with Nigeria Learning Passports, in which a facilitator organized about any passport from the student.
By tenure, the Department of Computer Science, in collaboration with ICT, that is Abubakar Computer. We had about 14 computer labs, so labs and equipment were not challenges. So this boosted our admissions.
For sure. During the time, we had a very, very successful, representation in the international computer science competition, in which some of our students, I think about 5 or 6 of them, went to China, and they were able to perform wonderfully well. The whole university was very happy and very proud of that particular. About 3 of them, they performed very well. I can give you their name later on. Okay. And secondly, our passing accreditation program is another milestone, because if we do not achieve up to expectation, what will happen? We will not be able to get accreditation, full accreditation. So by getting full accreditation, I think it's also an important milestone that we have achieved. 2 accreditations have successfully been conducted, and our students are not performing badly in terms of examination. And when they go for teaching, we also have what we call, we get back to them to find out how they are performing after they graduated. We have a record of that. It's indicating that they are performing up to expectation. In other words, computer science students that graduate from the university, from our department in particular, when they go outside, their performance is quite satisfactory.
You see, like when this thing I came in, I told you the first was to streamline the programs. So to identify the real courses that computer science teachers need to learn if at all they will teach the program effectively. So we're able to identify those programs which will make them as core courses and make them mandatory for our students to do.
So the first milestone was our ability to change, to make the courses not to clash with others. So the second milestone was the breakthrough we achieved by teaching computer science students separately from mathematics education students. So that's another great milestone which I can recall. And maybe the third one, which I can take the credit of that, was the harmonization of the curriculum. I told you when I became the head of section, it was at the heat of a serious problem of curriculum issues, where some students were supposed to have graduated, but they didn't take some compulsory courses, and they have to come back to take these courses. So at least we're able to solve that problem. I think that's another milestone.
The only thing that I can say we have is the UNESCO that we are partnering. We've just started the partnership with them, and we're developing courses that will be aired through computer science students. Certainly, we expect them to be on the lead when these programs are developed. We want to acknowledge Dr. Zaria, who already introduced some of these courses that we even use artificial intelligence to teach, and we believe we're going to use it.
Can claim credit of one thing which I'm proud of, and that is the collaboration we had with the Nigerian Learning Passport. Nigerian Learning Passport is a digital platform where you can teach and learn, get certified free of charge. It's a digital education platform, e-learning. So computer science education, as head of section, I just went for a conference, a STAN conference, and I met the kind of facilitator of the program in the conference. We spoke. I'm head of section of computer science education. This is what I train teachers to do this thing, and you have a platform. Can't we collaborate? Then we collaborated with a big event for the department, so we collaborated, and up to now, maybe you were aware last year there was a program that we had on introducing NLP, Nigerian Learning Passports, to post-service teachers. Some of our students attended, so I think that is a big achievement where we're able to have a kind of collaboration between the department and an industry. Yeah.
Despite the fact of this milestone, challenges that computer science education are facing: number one is lack of funds. Number two, lack of enough laboratory for practical. Number three, lack of experts to teach computer science education. And the last one, which is the review in the curriculum that is happening every day.
The major one actually is the funding, followed by staffing. In fact, the staffing is more biting as well, because we don't control the budget. We only share with the university. The university is in charge of all the funding. Centrally, we always intimate them about staffing. At a given time, actually, when the program started, we only survive with some staff that were not computer scientists.
There are quite a number of challenges, but some of them were able to overcome, others still remain up to date. One is the large size of the department. The Department of Science Education, we had at one time more than 5,000 students. These students, over 5,000 students, you have to cater for their needs, you have to do this, you have to do that. That become a very great burden for us because we were understaffed. That is another great challenge. We have the largest number of students, over 5,000 students, and yet we have very few staff. So you can imagine, but with all these bottlenecks, we are able to sustain the program to what it is. If I tell you that during the time I was the head of the department, our staff strength in the department was just about 16, 17, 18 people, and over 5,000 students. Can you imagine? Along with all the courses that we run. Although some of the staff that are in other units, in other departments, they also take part in that. But in the science education program where we have to teach methodology courses, we have to do that and that, we are really understaffed. But like I said, see the contrasting issue. Largest number of students, least staff. So these are some of the challenges that we face.
As Faculty of Education, our problem is space. You see, like, you have so many people who are struggling to come. We have space was a problem. Trained personnel, I can say up to date, is still a problem in the department. Finance, I think, I think it's one of the courses that require funding very, very well.
Maybe I can categorize the challenges into 3 or 4. So the first one has to do with the shortage of manpower. People to teach computer science education courses. You cannot give what you don't have. The people that introduced this course, this program, they were all mathematics educators. How will they teach computer science courses, computer education courses? So this has been a big challenge right from the inception and up to today. I'm telling you that there is no single lecturer in the Department of Science Education who is a graduate of computer science education. No one. And we ran the program for years, since 2011 up to now. So shortage of manpower, trained manpower is a big challenge. Another challenge is the infrastructural decay. We lack this. We are teaching computer science, we need to integrate technology into our teaching. We don't have well-dedicated laboratories that you can perform practicals. The next one has to do with the emphasis on theory. And maybe that is an implication of lack of the facilities. Okay, you are a teacher, you are a lecturer, you are so much interested in showing your students how to code, how to run the programs, how to debug and stuff like that. But you want to do it, there is no facility to do it. And then you have to just focus on the theory and teach your Java in classroom, not in the laboratory. Do you get the point now? So that another big challenge is what emphasis on theory. Then the biggest challenge, the curriculum challenge, which I told you of. But that challenge is dying now. We still have some of maybe graduating class now, your set or so. Some students are supposed to take some courses in other level. Instead of that, they took some library science courses or something like that. That's a big issue.
We have what you call, we just have to, situations come and we have to use all the resources available to us, both mental, artificial, whatever you can think of, how to solve the problem, we sort of that. Sometimes we need assistance from other faculties, from other departments, sister departments, so that our students can be able to offer some courses there. And indeed, a situation might arise that people still want to come to our department, for recruitment, for admission. We imagine we already have the largest size, especially for the postgraduate program, which of course up to now we have not started postgraduate in the computer science program. This because of the limiting factor, because of the staffing. Many people are applying, they want to do masters in computer science, but because of this challenge, we cannot be able to open our mind, our door to them. We still remain at the undergraduate level. That's why the program is. But like I said, it's a handicapped situation. We hope sooner or later we should be able to solve the problem. And the issue is that of the staffing. now the department is even suffering more. I'm sure you know that. The suffering, many of us have either retired or some have died, like Maruf and Aisha Usman, and there are few hands, to be able to replace them, so to say.
Like the issue of trained personnel, it is a big issue which is beyond the section of computer science education and is even beyond the department, because it requires recruiting experts, recruiting graduates of computer science education. And recruitment now in Ahmadu Bello University, just of recent, we're out of IBPIS, which is a bottleneck, and up to now there is no public announcement of massive recruitment in the EU. So what can solve that problem is recruitment, but we are still handicapped. The second one has to do with what the resources, right? Infrastructural decay. This again has to do with funding, and with the currently actually on strike, isn't it? Because of one reason or the other, the fertilization fund. So because this funding is limited and the government is not given enough, so that problem is also pending. Another one is also to do with what the emphasis on theory, which I said is an implication of what? Of lack of resources. If you have laboratories, functional laboratories, lecturers will be willing to teach the practical. And the last one has to do with the curriculum issue. So we're able to manage that, review the curriculums, then restructure, bring back what is supposed to be brought back. So the students that are still within their tenure, we ask them to write some of these courses, and some wrote, and we were able to manage, do one or two things, and the problem is over. That one I can say we have recorded like 80% success. But for the other problems, we are still battling with some of them. Yes, currently computer science education is booming. Like people who come for computer science education. Ahmadu Bello University, we have generally we have this problem of enrollment apathy, where there is decline in students coming to study, especially in the faculty of education. When it comes down to science education, the problem is obvious. You see a program with only 3 students. Mathematics education now, we have only 3 students. Biology education, physics education, these are programs that they have 300 level students. 3 students I mentioned for math education, they are 400 level. Okay? While for 200 level, they are less than 11. So these are levels that we used to have 200, 300 before. Alright, but for computer science education, instead of 2 in another level, we have 50 something. Instead of 11, when you compare with mathematics, we have 200 level students, over 100. So there is increased interest, increase in enrollment in computer science education, despite the decline in the university as a whole. So I look into the future and I see that computer science education perhaps will even become a department of computer science education. You can just bring in some other things, computer science, technology, artificial intelligence, or something, as some programs under the department. So you'll be having kind of artificial intelligence in education, BSc Ed, artificial intelligence in education. That may happen very soon. You can also have technology education or something like that. So instead of just having the whole of, we can unbundle that computer science education into pieces when we have our department of computer science education. That's something. Another thing I also noticed currently is the fact that we don't have master's program or PhD program in computer science education. When you finish now a degree, you can come back here for masters because we don't have masters in computer science education. You have to go to other universities that run it, like ATBU and some other universities like that. Same thing with PhD program. So in terms of prospect, I look into the future and I see the kind of future where we are going to have higher degrees, higher programs, higher degrees in computer science education, where we are going to have this unbundled programs under the Department of Computer Science Education, not the section. So this kind of future that I hope it will come as time goes on.
Due to involvement in technology in the world that we are today, a lot of people are trooping into computer science education, and this has given more than enough room for the course to thrive in Ahmadu Bello University and even the world as a globe. We are in a world where everybody is tilting towards information and technology. Here are a few recommendations that will help computer science education to thrive as a course in Ahmadu Bello University. One is adequate funding. Second is getting experts to teach the course. And finally is having institutional relationship with other institutes. Thank you. My name is Olabi Samson Olaoluwa.